almost all of the videos that we've done, they're all evergreen. These are things that a year from now are still going to be relevant to anyone who's trying to do this. They're going to still be worth something 6 months from now, right? It'll continue to bring in leads and keep them warmed up, going through the pipeline and everything else. And so it's definitely a worthy investment.
Welcome to this client success interview. This is Ben Kelly, teaches people how to get into small business acquisition. Ben and our company, we've been working together for about a year now and seen some pretty good success on YouTube. To summarize, last 12 months, we've gone from about 6,000 subscribers to over 12,000 now. And in the last year, like 2025, from the start of the year, we've generated a little over $280,000 in new sales for Ben's offer. Ben, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Presley.
So let's go back to like August 2024 when we initially met and we connected. What exactly was it that made you want to get on YouTube and start prioritizing it for your offer?
Yeah, I guess it's probably just because I'm on multiple social media platforms, but YouTube is unique in that it has the best leads that come through it, right? So the people will be the warmest. They're going to consume more of your content because it's long form content. So by the time they actually come through and go through the sales process, they show up and they already know what they're getting into. They already know that this is something they want to do. And now it's just about doing the last bit of details and confirming for them to jump on. So it's probably the best platform for getting really strong leads.
I know that previously, before we started working together, you were trying to post content on your own. What bottlenecks or problems were you running into with that, trying to do it on your own?
Yeah, so one, I just lacked strategy, direction, knowing what topics to talk about. Obviously I could talk about business acquisition all day, but what particular questions should I be answering in those videos? And really getting to the heart of like, what is a person who's interested in this offer? What do they want to know? And that was the big help, and I think the big difference on that.
Walk me through your thought process and your reaction to that first shoot we had back in August, September of 2024 when we first started working together. What were your expectations going in, and how do you feel like that really simplified the process for you and made it seem, okay, this is like something sustainable that I can actually do, and this is something that's not going to require a ridiculous amount of time commitment on my end to actually make happen?
Yeah, so I didn't know really what to expect. At that point, I had heard of other clients that I've worked with you guys that were getting great results. So I wasn't concerned that it would be not good quality or something that wasn't professional. But what happened was, you guys came on out. You guys do all the scripting, do the research, find out what topics are going to get traction. And so then I basically show up that day and camera equipment set up, everything's ready to go. And I sit down and look at the content, maybe make a couple changes here and there, but by and large, it's good. And then we shoot and we get in and out within a few hours for enough content for an entire month. Instead of me, having to do multiple hours a week or anything else like that, it's kind of go to the studio, be there for a few hours, and now you're good for the entire month. So it was a good way of getting things done.
Yeah, especially someone like you. Obviously, you spend a lot of time running off that you offer. You're actively managing the businesses that you buy. And on top of that, you got a wife and kids. So for someone like you don't really have a ton of time to commit every single month to really going and filming content by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that was a priority for me is how can I do this while not being constantly scripting and doing hours a week worth of shooting. And because at that point, I probably wouldn't have engaged in doing this.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about YouTube and the sales process and how that has helped your guys, just kind of build trust with people. You sell a much higher ticket package than most people, I guess, in the space. Not to say that yours is expensive, but it is a significant investment for a lot of top people that are just seeing you for the first time or who have just come across your content. So kind of talk to me about what you've heard from your sales team as far as YouTube's role in the sales process and actually going and building trust and answering those last minute questions before the sales call, so your sales guys don't have to do the work on the back end to go and make up for those objections.
Yeah, so one of the best uses of my videos, outside of just bringing in organic YouTube traffic, people interested in the topic, and then eventually they book a call, is a lot of those videos are kind of pre-call material for those who come through other avenues. into the pipeline. And then we basically are sending them a bunch of my YouTube videos that pretty much answers 90+% of their questions, so that by the time that they show up on the call with the sales team, they are ready to go. Like they already watched the videos, all their questions were answered, they still showed up because they want to move forward. And so it's a great way to make sure that those sales calls are as productive as possible.
On that topic too, I know the free course that we produced together has over 40,000 views right now on small business acquisition. Did you ever think a video like that or a topic on small business acquisition could get traction like that? Or was that previously like unknown to you on
Yeah,
YouTube?
good question. That video, obviously in hindsight, it makes sense, right? Because like people charge for courses, and now here's a free course, and who wouldn't want to watch it if you're interested in acquisitions? So I love the idea. Obviously, the results speak for themselves. That video has a lot of views, and I think once people watch that, it just inevitably pushes them to the other videos, right? Because now it's like, okay, I understand kind of how this all works. Now let's jump into more of the niche questions and answers and strategies that I talk about in the other videos. So it was a great idea, great strategy, and it does a lot for warming up the funnel coming through.
Now, I think a lot of people in a niche like yours, or maybe a more specific niche that you feel like is more advanced or has an older demographic, I think a lot of people write themselves off from making YouTube content because they feel like the niche they're covering is too specific for YouTube, or it's not going to get views. I think the main thing that I want to go and cover is the fact that a lot of your videos average, anywhere from like 1 to maybe 3K views, sometimes even less, and yet consistently in our top months, we do anywhere from like $50,000 to $60,000 in extra cash collected from YouTube. Can you explain that views don't always mean sales, especially when you're dealing with a more sophisticated audience like this?
Yeah, for sure. The view count does not mean you're gonna. I know a bunch of people that are getting hundreds of thousands of views and making very little money from it. And so it really depends on the view quality, right? Like if you get 1,000 of the right people watching the video, then your return on investment is going to be astronomically high, versus 10,000 that 5% or less were even good quality people that were watching it. So the numbers don't make it. It's the back end numbers that really show you how good the quality is, not the upfront views.
I feel like a really good example of this is like the SBA loan videos, for example, that we made, or creative financing, which are pretty specific topics, and not everyone's going to watch that. These are more tailored to people that are already like in the world of business acquisition or have maybe already consumed some content. But I feel like ironically, those videos are going to be some of the best performers long term because they're such evergreen topics. That's not a time sensitive topic. That's not riding a viral trend. These are going to be videos, as long as you're running this program, that are going to be relevant to your core audience.
Yes, totally. And that's one of the cool things about a lot of I would say probably almost all of the videos that we've done, they're all evergreen. So these are things that a year from now are still going to be relevant to anyone who's trying to do this. And so that will stack up over time. And these videos will bring people on in, and they'll consume hours of that content. And so by the time they're done with it, they're ready to move forward.
Now, how has your comfort level with filming YouTube changed since we started together? I know when we first started, you were kind of learning the ropes, right? Getting used to tonality and things like that. How has that maybe improved over time? Because I think that's something that also prevents a lot of people from starting is, filming short form content and long form content are vastly different just because of the amount of like bandwidth and energy and I guess continued tonality throughout the video that's required. How has that improved in like the 12 months of working together and, just made you like more confident in your ability to go and do long form going forward? Because I've noticed a huge difference in your camera presence since we started.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think like everything in life, you're going to get better at it the more you do it. And doing this has really helped with the ability to sit down and not just communicate ideas and topics, but do it in a way that's going to catch people's attention, right? So you mentioned tonality and also breaking the sentences up in a certain way that it leads them to the next sentence, to the next sentence, and then being expressive and more than usual. So yeah, all that is, and they're great skills that you're going to have moving to anything else you do, right? Any kind of public speaking or any kind of way you were trying to communicate to somebody. These are things that are skill sets that convey.
One last question to wrap this up. if you were speaking to somebody that was on the fence of working with us, maybe it's the investment, maybe it's the fact that they feel like it's a time investment on their end, or maybe they just don't think YouTube is going to work for their niche, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, I would say this, like anything else, is going to be an investment, right? It's something where the videos that I've done with you guys, they're going to still be worth something 6 months from now, right? It'll continue to bring in leads and keep them warmed up, going through the pipeline, and everything else. And so, like anything in life, the same thing I tell my students: if you're going to go into this thinking that there's not going to be a cost to be able to get an end result that is going to be doing what other students have achieved, right? Or the returns that we go for, then this is just not for you, right? There's going to be a cost to it. This is going to be high quality. It's going to be doing something that's going to be creating an engine that's going to be bringing you sales. And so, of course, it's going to be an upfront investment. Of course, it's going to take some of your time. Of course, it's going to take you getting better and working on it. But once you do that, after a certain period of time, you're going to start to see the results, and those results will keep on coming. Like, that's the cool thing, is I could stop right now, and then 6 months from now, those same videos could be performing. And so it's definitely a worthy investment.
Appreciate that, Ben. Well, thank you for your time today.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you hopping on, and that's all I got.
All right. Sounds good.